So welcome to some games I've been playing recently. And yes, the new Super Mario Bros. Wonder game has just come out, and I've also played the demo for Star Ocean, and I want to do a comparison on that later on of the old Star Ocean game and this new remake of it. And before I begin, I will ask you guys, what are you playing? Let me know down below. Are you playing some brand new games? Some old games? Did you just get Super Mario Wonder? Are you playing that? Or have you played the Star Ocean demo? Let me know down below. Now, the game just came out, and that is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And I've been playing it. And is it wonderful? Is it wonderful? Yes, that's the easy answer to say there. I'm going to get into all the gameplay and all the stuff that I really like about it. But I will say this much. This is a very big transitional game. And I don't think enough people are talking about it because it's huge. It's such a big deal. And that is, we have a brand new voice actor for Mario called Kevin Afghani.
It's me!
Yes, all of a sudden, Charles Martinet has been replaced. And of course, Nintendo will not say it quite like that, but they kind of shuttled Charles out of the way, and now he's a Nintendo ambassador, and Kevin is the new voice. And how is the new voice of Mario? It's not bad. It's funny, a friend of mine, when there was a Nintendo Direct and they first showed Wonder, said, hey, that voice is different. That voice is different. I'm like, no, they might have done some enhancements or some audio stuff. He's no, it's different. He was right. He definitely was right. And I wouldn't have believed it that they would have put a brand new voice actor in, because Charles isn't that old. And there's something else I want to say is that it's kind of an unusual news for me because I have such kind of a connection with Charles Martinet, because a bunch of years back now, he came to Vancouver for a convention, and through the convention owner that I knew at the time, he came over to my place. And he hung out here and drank wine with my wife and some of our other friends all night. So I got to hang out with Charles Martinet and get to know him personally. And that was a wonder. That was a true wonder, and it was really neat to hang out with Charles and all that. And I won't go into a lot of the conversations that I had with him, but he was a wonderful guy, and he really loved the role of playing Mario and all the other characters, you know, for Nintendo that he's done over the years. And so incredible to hang out with him. I remember I took a photo of Kim and him after like their second bottle of wine that night, and I wasn't drinking. I just kept bringing people, you know, wine out for them to drink, and really great time. And I'll never forget taking Charles out to a restaurant just before I took him to the airport. I was even shuttling him around for a bit of time there, and just the afternoon that we spent together. And so for me, I have this personal connection to Charles, like a lot of you did as well. You know, when we first played Super Mario, 64, that was like, whoa, and you heard, Mario's voice in there. You're like, wow, this is really interesting.
Hello!
And then he's been a staple for 20 plus years or more now. And I guess it's a hard transition for me to make, going from Charles to somebody brand new. It's kind of one of those things where you date a girl for a long time or a guy and you know them so well, and then all of a sudden you break up and you're seeing somebody new and they're kind of like the old person, but they're not. That's what it feels like for me. And I just want to say that I think the voice acting is good. I think it's interesting, but we're in a transitional period. What do you guys think? What do you think of the replacement? And I don't want to say a replacement. Charles might have got to an age where he's like, maybe I need to retire, or Nintendo's like, hey, you've done it for so long, we love you. It's just maybe time to step out and introduce somebody new. And I think Charles has been great with that. I don't think there's any bad friction there and all that, but it is a transitional phase, and it's a monumental moment. And I don't think people are talking about it. Like Charles for 25 plus years doing Mario. His voice. I also get a brand new person in there.
Thank you.
That's the thing that it's really been fascinating about Wonder for me. And I've been playing the game, and I want to say that it just warms my heart. It brings me back to what I originally got me into Nintendo was the original Mario Brothers, and we went into Mario 2 and 3 and Super Mario World, and into the 3D games after that. And it's a beautiful return to 2D. And boy, have they really gone out of their way to really make this exciting and fresh and interesting, and just the animations and the brand new enemies. And let's talk about Mario turning into an elephant. Okay, this is the elephant in the room for me, because I haven't said it. When I originally saw Mario turning into an elephant in the Nintendo Direct, I didn't want to come out as really negative, but I was like, this doesn't feel like Mario to me. This is really weird. It seems really strange. And then I've been playing the game today, and I'm like, okay, I love this Mario elephant transformation. It's so charming, him ducking under things and bashing into things, and just all of his abilities, watering things and things growing. I mean, there's so much to talk about with the gameplay that I could go on for a long period of time, and I've just scratched the surface of the game. But I want to say that, yes, this game has won me over, and I want to say also that the last few Mario games in 2D, I thought they were like deluxe, I thought were cool, but I was just like, okay, kind of samey. But this is really doing something fresh. I really love the new Flower Kingdom. It's weird and strange. Yes, Bowser is back once again. But the charm, there's so much charm here, and I do want to say it's a very easy game. I'm not completely challenged by this, but I think what I'm going to really enjoy, especially with Kim, is that there's multiplayer. You can play multiplayer in this game, and that's absolutely ridiculous and all of that. But yeah, Super Mario Wonder so far is pretty wonderful. It really is, and yes, do I want the next 3D Mario game? Where I think I'm going to get that with the Switch 2, the Switch Pro, whatever they decide to call it going forward. It's been 6 years or so since the last Mario Odyssey game. So I know they've been working on that behind the scenes, and I'm sure that's going to be extraordinary. But as a return to 2D, I am not upset with this game, and I can't wait to play a lot more of it. What do you guys think of Super Mario Wonder? Is it something for you? Is it a wonder for you? Or is it something you're like, nah, I think I'll pass on this? Now, the next game I've been playing is the Star Ocean demo, and that is Star Ocean: The Second Story R. It's a remake of this game right here that was originally released on the PlayStation 1 here, and this was called Star Ocean: The Second Story. And this was the second game in the series, the first game we ever got in North America, and done by Tri-Ace and Square at the time. And what's the big deal about this game? This is like a science fiction RPG, and it's had so many sequels, so many different games going on over the years. I picked up a bunch of them, and I'm going to say something absolutely extraordinary to you, because you know me on the show. I haven't really loved the series that much. I know, controversial, right? Controversial. I always buy the games. I always try to enjoy them. And I always try to. I always want them to be like Phantasy Star for me. And they never quite hit it for me. But you know what? I always have an open mind. And so this new Star Ocean's getting a remake. And I saw the demo on the PlayStation 5. And I'm like, okay, let's just dive into this and check this out. And I want to say to begin with that I really like this game. This game is obviously an RPG, science fiction, fantasies going on in there. There's a lot of things that are working here. And I played the original game, and I thought it was good. I didn't love it though, and I didn't ever get too far into the game, but I bought my copy back in the day because, I was always a trier with a tri-acer with trying to get into these games. And I want to say something here because I went back and captured footage for this game again. And I want to say that it's interesting to go back to the past and to see the brand new remake side by side. And I gotta say, they've done an amazing job. They've done an amazing job with this remake honoring the source material. I was playing it and I'm like, oh my God, I just captured footage for the PS1 game and look at this game now. So what they've really done is they've taken kind of an overhead style of game with side view action in it, and they've taken it into pseudo 3D, 2D. You think it shouldn't work, but it works incredibly well. And it's incredibly charming looking. And so you start off in the beginning, you go down to a planet, your brand new ensign, you can pick two different characters, Claude, Arena, however you want to say it, and you go down to this planet, and you shouldn't touch this one device that's there that seems to be malfunctioning. Of course, you go and touch it. You're transported to a different world, and you get involved in the inhabitants and what's going on over there. And it's really strange because it's kind of like Star Trek. You don't want to interfere with the native population. You don't really want to say what you're really there for or what you're really capable of with your technologies and all of that. So it's kind of cool that you're exploring these environments. And I want to say for the graphics, let's talk about this alone, really worked for me and really looked nice. I was running around the world, I was running around the towns, and I got this comfort zone feeling. This is the other thing I want to say. This comfort zone feeling from this game. That it feels, obviously, based on an old RPG from the 90s, it gives me that 90s feeling, and I love that. I love that. It gives me this comfort zone feeling of playing an RPG from the good old days when things were a lot more simpler and you just ran around, you fought monsters, got into combat, got your other characters involved. And that's what I also like, is that when you get into combat, that you can pick your commands, you go and attack, and it almost feels like action RPG in there. And I'm playing it again and I'm like, I really like this combat. And another thing I want to say is I love the character profile pictures in this game. They are amazing, and they're really my style of anime, like coloring and shading going on in there. They all are hand painted. They have that feeling. Obviously, they've been done in Photoshop, as most artwork is done these days, but it has that handcrafted feel. So whenever a character's face comes up on the screen, I'm in love, and I'm like, oh man, this just really won me over. And you know what, for me personally, I went onto Amazon, I ordered the PS5 copy of this game. I'm like, I have to get this game. I have to get this game. Yeah, there's a lot to like in here. I like the enemies, I like the fast travel that you can do in the game, going back and forth to areas that you've been through and to new locations. I like the old school feeling it gives me, and this is the first Star Ocean game that I'm like, I have to buy this game and I'm going to play this game, and I'm really loving it. And I'll ask you guys, are you excited about this new Star Ocean? Are you big fans of the original Star Ocean games? I played them all to varying degrees, and I've always wanted to love this series. And this is the first game in a long time in the Star Ocean series. I was like, this is fun. This is really cool. I also love the music in this new version as well. And I know it's a crazy time of year for games. There's so many games coming out. I'm trying to keep on top of them all. A lot of you have asked me about Starfield and about Baldur's Gate. And I'm going to say this. Starfield, I'm going to play in December. I'm getting all of these games out of the way. I got a big schedule for things, of all these things I want to do. Starfield is scheduled in for there. I'm looking forward to playing that. I don't know what to expect. I have friends of mine that love the game. I have friends of mine that hate the game. So I'm kind of caught in the middle, and I'm going, I don't know what I'm going to think about this game. And also about Baldur's Gate. And this is no plug for Play Asia. This is just a recommendation for people out there who are like me, who like physical versions of games. Baldur's Gate has been released over here digitally. There's no physical copies, but Play Asia just put out a version of the game with a physical copy of the game with English in there. And I ordered it off Play Asia. I'm like, yes, that's going to show up sometime in December. I'll probably play that at the beginning of January because it's probably very quiet then, and I can sink my teeth into that game. I'm looking forward to Baldur's Gate, really getting into that. So guys, I will ask you, what are you playing? Let me know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.